Do you really feel like life goes so fast?
My mom said that once you hit 40, when you hit 40, she said, it is like lightning. And yeah, I mean, I would say that happened to me when I hit 30. I mean,
Really?
I had 3 kids by 28. So, you know, watching them grow up. Now my oldest is almost 30.
So
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
But as I tell Sophie every day, I feel the best I've ever felt. I'm at the top of my game. I couldn't feel better.
You do physically?
I do.
Stop it. You can't really.
I feel great.
I mean, you look great, but
Thank you.
I'm saying you really feel like I feel
unbelievable.
stiff when I roll out.
Oh, I feel great.
But I feel good. Like mentally, I feel the best I've ever felt.
Maybe that's what it is, and I'm fooling everything else. But I mean, if
Yeah,
you are mentally great, then it doesn't matter what's going on below.
Yeah,
right? Upstairs
true,
is going.
true,
like,
true.
You're great.
True.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want that to fail. That's not a pretty picture. Do you have a single phrase or a quote that resonates with you that you consistently tell yourself or speak out often?
A quote. You know, Matt Flores, I hired Matt Flores when he was out of high school. He was 18 years old when I hired him.
How much hair did he have? And was it curly?
It was like picked out. It was beautiful. And it was curly.
How did I know? He's hanging on though.
He is, yeah. He has kept, unbeknownst to me, a book of quotes from me.
Oh, that's
Like,
cool.
He has. And so the other day he was in and I said something and I saw him jotting it down. I go, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I just added to my book of quotes. And so, you know, one of the things he said to me just recently, and I don't know if this answers your question, but it struck me. He said, I told him, you have to be willing to hire wrong in order to hire right.
Yeah.
And so, what that really says is don't be afraid of trying anything. Like, it doesn't matter. So what? I did that. I fell on my face in front of 300 people. I told everybody we're lowering rates. And then the pandemic happened. I raised them 3 times. Oh my God, your timing's horrible. I go, yes, it was horrible. All right, here we go. Now here's what we got. Like, I'm not living in that. And you remember, like, the timing could have been worse,
oh my God.
right?
And I followed your lead. So while everyone started this craze at the pandemic, like the sky was falling, we were announcing we were lowering our rates. I'm like, yes, this is awesome. I actually posted on social media 2 Corona bottles that said, while everyone else is going sideways, we are lowering rates. And then I'm like, well, 24 hours, literally, it wasn't even on.
I know, I think it was 24 hours. It's like,
I'm like,
and we didn't just up them a little bit.
This wasn't funny.
We didn't up them a little bit. We upped them
200 basis points.
Like 250 basis points 3 times. Like over, not 3 times 250, but 75, 75. And I know it was crazy. And then the other thing too is like, if you think about the pandemic, I sit here in a bit of amazement that we are 9 months later and we're having lockdowns and spikes and sicknesses and unemployment rises and all this stuff 9 months later. And you go, well, what happened to your 35 years of experience? You're all knowing. No, I've referenced it. I was wrong and I'm dealing with it. And I think that's the key, is just not to be afraid. I put my best foot forward in looking at the situation. And then what you and I talk about a lot is pivoted throughout the pandemic. Okay,
Yeah.
I was wrong here, pivot. Wrong here, pivot. Wrong here, adjust, right? And just be willing to do that. And I think it's important, Kendra, for you or anyone listening, is that you just can't be afraid to fail.
100%. I think that's like the strongest value that you could speak is, you know, if you approach it like a 3-year-old with a Batman cape, you know, you can't go wrong, you know?
I like that.
I mean, those little guys or girls will take a ramp on their little bike and not even think about the consequence of what's on the other side. So
that's a good thing.
I think that if we all do that to a degree, forget about who's watching, how many followers we have. We were just talking about this before we started filming. If you're doing it from a place that creates fire, which further inspires you to go, do it. Who cares if you mess up? It was nobody's idea before. Just roll with it, right?